Published 6:58 Eastern Standard Time, the 24th of January 2018. Updated 8:09 Eastern Standard Time, the 24th of January 2018. Arsenal host Chelsea on Wednesday in their third meeting in 3 weeks, with one of these London rivals having to strike a final decisive blow of this month-long saga. 2 games, 2 draws, and another one back in September. Since Arsene Wenger's sides' FA Cup and Community Shield triumphs, these two teams have been inseparable. But at the Emirates Stadium over 90 minutes, 120 minutes or more, a winner must emerge to set up a Carabao Cup final date against Manchester City on February 25. Here, Sportsmail analyses the key questions ahead of Wednesday night's meeting. Chelsea and Arsenal meet for the third time this month with nothing to separate them so far. Antonio Conte has faced accusations of being overcautious this season, having retreated into a 3-5-2 system to replace the 3-4-3 setup that served Chelsea so well last year. The key to the Italians' choice of playing 2 up top is having a pair of front men right at it, otherwise Chelsea can look somewhat toothless, as seen in the first leg of this tie. But with first choice number 9 Alvaro Morata and midfield creator Cesc Fabregas injured, this system lacks some of its key components. Conte could choose to field Eden Hazard, Willian and Pedro together, but the suspicion is that he may go for a front 2 of the Belgian and the Brazilian wingers. Arsenal's defending has shown them to be there for the taking of late, but will Conte go for the jugular? Antonio Conte could choose to have Eden Hazard in attack once more, as against Brighton. Attacking options are lacking for Arsenal after the departures of Alexis Sanchez and Theo Walcott this month, and with Henrik Mkhitaryan cup-tied. Wenger's new Armenian attacker is ruled out, having appeared as a 69th-minute substitute in Manchester United's Carabao Cup exit at the hands of Bristol City last month. So a star is needed. Wednesday night might be the occasion for Alexandre Lacazette after he returned to goal-scoring form at the weekend. The Frenchman had not scored in his previous 9 games before his 22nd-minute strike against Crystal Palace on Saturday. Lacazette is likely to be supported by Mesut Ozil, who was excellent against Chelsea in the last visit to this ground, and Alex Iwobi, another player with a lot to prove here. The 2 matches between these teams this month have been polar opposites. The clash at the Emirates in the Premier League provided one of the games of the season. The Carabao Cup follow-up at Stamford Bridge was one of few chances. Expect Wednesday's game to be something of a middle ground. Wenger will feel a responsibility to put Arsenal on the front foot, something they refused to do away at Chelsea. Conte will look to iron out in any Arsenal threats. He has told his team they must be prepared to suffer without the ball, but will look to launch quick counter-attacks with Hazard leading the way. After dominating Arsenal for much of the last decade, Chelsea have been lacking against them since Conte took over at the beginning of last season. The Italian has just 1 win over Wenger to look back on, back in February of last year at Stamford Bridge. Otherwise, the competitive head-to-head over the last 18 months reads: 2 Arsenal wins, 3 draws, plus a Community Shield defeat on penalties for Chelsea. Arsene Wenger has got the better of his opposite number Antonio Conte since arrived. Wenger has masterminded that run. His side should have been inferior to Chelsea last season, but they looked almost comfortable in the FA Cup final, and the Blues have been nullified by Arsenal since. On Wednesday, the Gunners' boss needs something better than a draw, but the bigger question is on Chelsea. Can they find a way to get around Wenger's plans to stop them? Thibaut Courtois is back in training for Chelsea after his ankle injury, but Conte must decide whether he is ready to risk his goalkeeper for what could be his best shot at silverware this season. Willy Caballero has deputised well in the past week, acting as the hero in an FA Cup penalty shootout and keeping a clean sheet in the 4-0 win at Brighton. But the Argentine always seems to be trying to keep chaotic scenes under control. He is regularly out for punches and could have conceded a penalty with a rush out from his line at the weekend. Courtois was outstanding for Chelsea at the Emirates in the 2-2 draw earlier this month, and if he can perform similarly here, if fit, it gives the visitors an outstanding chance of progress. At the other end, Wenger will plump for David Ospina ahead of Petr Cech. Chelsea will not want to for their number 2 keeper in fear of giving Arsenal a weakness to exploit. Willy Caballero was the hero during the FA Cup win over Norwich and started at Brighton. Arsenal are expected to line up with 3 central midfielders here. Jack Wilshere should be joined by Mohamed Elneny and Granit Xhaka in the middle. Chelsea will surely go with N'Golo Kante and Tiémoué Bakayoko, and the possibility of an extra man in either Danny Drinkwater or Ross Barkley. The latter is more likely to come off the bench. Bakayoko has struggled in his debut Premier League season but looked better at Brighton and has tended to improve in a midfield too with Kante, when there is less emphasis on him to push forward. Wilshere is the key, though. He was excellent against Chelsea at the Emirates earlier in the month and remarkably disciplined before picking up an injury in the first leg. Provided he can hit full steam, the World Cup hopeful can give both Gareth Southgate and Conte something to watch out for on Wednesday night. Jack Wilshere is the key for Arsenal and he was excellent in the first leg at the Emirates. The video assistant referee, VAR, is in place again on Wednesday. Michael Oliver is the man in the middle at the Emirates while Neil Swarbrick is the man sat in front of the screen. Chelsea have already been wound up by VAR's failings in their FA Cup replay win over Norwich City last week, so more tests of the technology could test Conte's patience. Arsenal, meanwhile, will hope the fact they are likely to take the front foot in this game will see the majority of the video-assisted decisions being made around their opponent's penalty area. Big screen graphics will be shown at the Emirates for the first time, allowing supporters to be better aware of when the referee is seeking video guidance after confusing delays in the first leg. Unlike in the FA Cup, if this game goes to penalties, we'll be witnessing another trial of the ABBA shootout system. Arsenal triumphed with the help of that new penalty order in the Community Shield.